Good morning, students. Today, before we start on with our next chapter, I would like to discuss one of the questions that you have asked me. One of you have asked me. You have asked me to explain the stratified muscle in details from the last class. So I'll repeat it to you once again. Please pay attention. Stratified muscles, they are basically muscle tissue and is marked by transverse dark and light bands, and they are made up of elongated and usually multinucleated fibers, and they include skeletal muscle and cardiac muscle. Besides helping in various movement, the muscle is also responsible for maintaining posture, stabilizing the joints, in all these things. This is what you need to know for the timing. Later on, if you ever take up your subject as myology, you can enjoy the detailed study of it. Now we will slowly proceed on to our today's class. Okay, so now you see you are all in class 9. You have your juniors of class 8. You also have seniors from class 10. You have different classes in your school, right? From class 1 to 12. You have different class, you have different section. Now, depending on what are you all arranged in different classes? Depending on your age group, depending on your brain capacity, you are all arranged into different class. This kind of arrangement, this kind of classification is also observed in nature. See, when you move around, you see a lot of living beings, from different plants to animals, from unicellular organism to multicellular organism. So, these all living creatures are classified into different groups, into different families, into different orders, into different kingdom. Now, the question is, why are the living creatures classified? See, classification is an important subject to understand the relation between different organisms. For example, what is the common feature between a mango and a mouse? Then the mushroom and the marigold that you see, do they share any relation? Are they connected? So see, there are a lot of questions which arises depending on this living class. This is the reason why classification is important. In today's class, we will learn about this. We will also learn how to classify various living organisms. We will learn about taxonomy and various interesting things. Linnaeus divided all living beings into two kingdoms, namely the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. Now, all varieties of animals on the earth together constitute the animal kingdom. Now, all these animals have some basic and common features. That is why we are calling them animals, not plants. Now, what are the basic and common features that we observe in the kingdom animal? See, they are all multicellular. That means they are made up of many cells. They are all eukaryotic organism. That is why that means what? The nucleus in their cell is a modern type, and they are all heterotrophic. They possess heterotrophic mode of nutrition, which means they are dependent on the producers for their food. So this is why we call them animals. If we look into the plant kingdom, they also have some common basic features. That is why we call them plants. So what are the common and basic features the plants have? Plants are also multicellular, also have a eukaryotic nucleus, but they possess autotrophic mode of nutrition. That means with the help of sunlight, they cook their own food. Now, coming back to the main topic, see, among many animals with variations, some common features may be observed among several animals, among a large collection of animals at random. Like, for example, an elephant and a dog. We call them mammals. You have learnt it in your lower classes. Why? Because see, they are sharing some common features. They have hairs on their body. They give birth to the young ones. Yes, so these are the common features. Now, these animals with common characteristics may be grouped together. Grouped together based on what? Based on their similarities. So see, this is the basic principle in classifying animals. We are taking out the basic characteristic, the similar characteristic they share, and we group them together. Now, grouping of animals into scientific and systematic way is not only helping us to measure the levels of diversity in animal, but at the same time it also helps us to promote, helps us to basically study the life in a better way. So what is classification? Classification refers to the scientific and systematic grouping of diverse animal forms on the basis of the similarities and dissimilarities. I repeat, classification refers to the scientific and systematic grouping of diverse animal forms on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities. So now you know that what is classification. In simple words, it is grouping of animals into their common features. Now, classification of living forms is considered as a branch of life science and it is called taxonomy. I repeat, classification of living forms is considered as a branch of life science and is called taxonomy. Who is the father of taxonomy? Linnaeus is known as the father of taxonomy. Like I already have stated you before, Linnaeus has divided the living beings into two kingdoms, namely plant and animals. These kingdoms were further divided into their lower categories. In the classification of animals, similarities between two forms